Hello guys, welcome to Kodiary Technologies. This time we have decided to do something new and something exciting. I hope you'll find these videos exciting, the coming videos. What we have decided is to build up logic using PHP and try to solve various mathematical problems using PHP. It is not necessary to do these videos in PHP, but since I've been doing PHP videos in past days, I thought that it would be better if we do this in PHP. So what we will be doing is we'll be collecting various mathematical problems and various theories and try to prove those theories using PHP and programming. By doing so, what one the benefits that we'll be getting will be like we'll be building our logic. We can tackle various scenarios and various problems, and it will help us build logic and help us write codes fluently in coming days, and it will also help us work on real-time scenario. All of the real-time scenario problems will be easy if we have a good logic building ability, and mathematical problems are especially very much efficient and very much good in order to build logic. So let's get started. So what we'll be doing is we'll be dealing with some basic mathematical problems and move on to advanced mathematical problems, even some problems related to probability, problem related to some higher mathematical problems and theorems that we'll be trying to prove using PHP. So let's get started. Let me just create a project. Open Atom. Let me open Terminal. So what I suggest is you can get into your root folder of your PHP. I hope you already have installed the web servers like maybe Nginx or Apache or whatever you are comfortable with. You already have installed those. You might also need PHP installed in your system. I don't think MySQL would be that important for now, but later on we might need to when we are working with big data, like when we have large number of results which we might want to use in time and again. In that case, we might need MySQL or PostgreSQL. It's up to you. Any one of the database engine we can install later on. But for now, what I suggest is we at least need one web server, Apache, Nginx, whatever you are comfortable with, and a PHP, latest PHP. So I have Nginx installed in my system, and I also use Valet. So it will make your URL a bit friendly. So I'll just demonstrate. I'll create a new directory. Let me just go to my root folder first. This is my root folder, which is my home directories www. I'll create a folder called maths over there. So mkdir maths. So every day we'll be dealing with some problems, and we'll be creating programs for those. So inside maths folder, let me open maths folder. So Atom, and I would like to open the folder in Atom. So Atom maths. So here we go. I have the folder ready here. So let us start with some basic problems like printing even numbers, odd numbers. Those will be the stuff that we'll be starting with, and we'll be keep on going like advanced in each videos. So today I would like to just cover a few topics like printing out even numbers, odd numbers. Maybe tomorrow we can move on to Fibonacci series, and we can move on with prime numbers and all the stuffs. So let us just work out with even and odd number. So let me just create a file called even_odd.php. Here we'll be writing the codes to print out even numbers from some start point to the end point. In order to do so, I will be also guiding you with the codes I have written. As I have already mentioned in the previous video, if you have only pure PHP code, it is not necessary to close it. So if we close it and we have something like this, then these lines will be regarded as white space. But if we don't close it, all of the white space will be ignored, because these will be now part of PHP file. And for PHP, any white space which is not inside quotes are not regarded as white space. That is just a part of PHP block. So it is always good not to close PHP if you only have PHP script inside your file. Okay, so let us just try to print out all of the numbers first before moving to even and odd. Why don't we just print out all of the numbers from 1 to 100? Okay, 1 to 100. Okay, so basically, since we are talking about from starting point to the ending point, the best thing that we can do is we can use loop. We could also have done something like this: echo 1, echo 2, echo 3, and we could have done that till 100. Okay, but that is not efficient. Suppose we might want to print from 1 to 1000 or 1 to 500 or 5000 or 10,000. That would take whole night long to print out all those numbers. So this is not the efficient way to write the code. So generally, whenever we want to print out some series with some good sequence in it, which we can generate sequence about, in such case we generally use loops. And for such thing like such scenario which has proper sequence, we generally use for loop or while loop. So let's try that out. So for loop, I hope you have understood the syntax of for loop. So inside for loop, let me just create a variable. We call this initialization. So while initializing a value, we are using a variable called I, and I would like to initialize it by putting the value 1 inside it. So what we have done here is we have created a variable I and placed 1. That is our starting point. Now I would like to check the condition because I just want to reach till 100. I don't want I to exceed 100. So I'm writing another condition inside here after the semicolon, that I should not exceed. I should always be less than or less than or equals to 100. So this is our condition. We don't want to print out a number that exceeds 100. And in each loop, I would like to increase the value of I by 1. And in each loop, I also want to print out the value of I. Now, just to, let's say, make it look clean, I also want to add a line break over here, which I can just do by adding BR. So printing out the value of I, adding a BR. So this BR will break the line. So let us just test it out. I'll just show you and I'll explain the code to you. So let's go here. The folder name is maths, and since I'm using valid, my domain would be maths.test. In your case, it could be localhost/maths, but since I'm using valid, it will serve my domain into maths.test. And I have the file name that is even_odd.php. So you can see I have printed out 1 to 100. So let us get back into the code and try to see what we have done. So let's see how for loop works. In for loop, what we do is this part of the loop is run only once. So during the starting of the loop, the value of I is set to be 1. And once the loop once the loop starts, this code is never actually executed again. So this is just an initial, let's say it is just an initialization. So once the value of I is initialized, now this part of the code is executed. This is never done. So this is done before the loop starts actually. So this is not part of the loop. Rather, this is something that is out of the loop, which is done only once while the loop starts. So before the loop is starting, what we have done is we have set up the value of I to be 1. So after this step, the next level of execution moves to this part, the condition checking part. So this is the part where the loop checks for a valid condition. So what we want to do is we want to start from 1 and move till 100, and we don't want to exceed 100. So in each loop, what we are doing is we are checking if the value of I is less than or equal to 100. So after this, you must be expecting that this code moves to this part, but that is not the case. So after the condition is checked, the executor actually moves inside here. So now what it does is like it prints out the value of I, and again prints out line break. So after these part of the code which is inside the bracket of for loop is executed, and then it moves to the increment or decrement part, the third part of the for loop, which is increment or decrement. So what this part is doing is, after printing out the value of I, which is 1 initially, so it prints out 1, prints out line break, and it increases the value from 1 to 2. And again, instead of going here, now the code is moved into the condition again. So after the 1 has been increased to 2, now we are checking if 2 is less than or equals to 100, and it is true, so it again prints 2, and again prints a line break. So after the value of I is printed, now the I is increased to 3, and again it moves towards the condition. And suppose now the value of I has reached 99, so it checks if 99 is less than or equals to 100, and that is true, so it again prints out the I, prints out BR, and increases the value of I to 100. Now it again checks if 100 is less than or equals to 100, that is still true, so it prints out 100, prints out the line break, and again increases the value of I to 101. Now 101 is not less than or equals to 100, so it gets out of the loop. So what we have found, the final result would be value from 1 to 100 is printed. So once the value of I reaches 101, the loop is terminated. So that is what we have done. Now we will just enhance this and write a code that prints out only something that is even. Okay, so in our next part of this code, what we'll be doing is we'll be print out all the numbers from 1 to 100 that is even. We have various ways to do this, let's see. Let us just use the same code here. I would like to comment out all these codes for now. So let us just comment this out, but I would like to use the same code here. Now before printing I like this to get the result of, let's say, 1 to 100, I don't want 1, I don't want 3, I don't want 5, I just want the even numbers to get printed. So what I need to do is, before printing I just need to check if I is divisible by 2. So if I is divisible by 2, then it is sure that the number is even. So before printing out, I would like to add one condition over there to see if $I is divisible by 2. Only in that case I would like to print out I made a mistake over there. Let me just quickly correct it. So if I modulus 2 is equals to 0, so I have introduced a new operator over here. I hope you are aware of this. This operator percentage over here is called modulus. So modulus is something that outputs or that gives the remainder. So if I is 1 and we divide 1 by 2, then 1 is not divisible by 2. So 2 tries to divide 1, and the quotient is 0 and the remainder is 1. So for 3 the quotient is 1 and the remainder is 1. For 4 the quotient is 2 and the remainder is 0. So only if the remainder is 0, in that case we are trying to print I. Let's see if this works. See, but to print 50 numbers, now this is actually we are just printing all of the even numbers from 1 to 100. So which means we are printing 50 numbers. But in order to print 50 numbers, we are looping 100 times, which is not efficient. So this is not a proper way of printing even numbers from 1 to 100. Actually, what we could have done is we could have looped from 1 to so this is first approach. Let me just write it out here. First approach. Let me comment it out again. I'll just copy this again, comment it out, paste it. I would just like to loop from 1 to 50. but we cannot get 52 because we have only looped from 1 to 50. But what if we want to get 52? So in this case, what I could have done is echo, this is much simpler, I into 2. Let's see what we get. And let me just also add BR. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 till 100. So what I have done here is, because I know to get 2, I can directly print 2 or multiply 1 by 2. To get 4, I can print 4 or multiply 2 by 2. To get 6, I can multiply 3 by 2. To get 8, I can multiply 4 by 2. So here I've only looped from 1 to 50. So my loop runs 50 times and I'm getting exactly 50 numbers. In the previous approach, what we had done was we had looped 100 times to get 50 numbers, which was not efficient. But was this approach correct? Yes, it was correct. But was it efficient? No, it was not, because it had to loop 100 times to get 50 result, which was not efficient. Now here what we have done is we have looped 50 times and got 50 results. So this is much better approach. Now since we have understood both the approach, let me just write down second approach to print out all of the numbers, that is even. So we can use the same concept to print out the odd numbers. Let us try. Let me just comment this out. Let me copy the previous approach, first approach, to print out all of the odd numbers. Just comment this line. So that is that, let's not say is, that are odd. So print out all the numbers from 1 to 100 that are odd. So this is my first approach, like I did for even. Now in case of even numbers, the number, if we try to divide by 2, we get the remainder 0. But if we try to print out the odd number and try to divide it by 2, then the remainder is always 1. So if we just change it to 1, then this should print out odd number. So because if any odd number is divided by 2, then the remainder is always 1. So let's see if we get the odd number from 1 to 100. Yes, we got. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, these are all odd numbers, and we have printed that out. Perfect. But again here, to print out 50 odd numbers, we have looped 100 times, which is not efficient. So what we could have done was, let me just comment this out and again copy the second approach from here. I'll just use the same code and modify it a little bit to get exactly what we want. So I'm using the same code, but I'm just adding one line over here, -1, and we'll be getting our number. Let's see. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 with the same output, but this time we have looped 50 times. So what I have done here is, since we know 1 into 2 is 2, but we need 1. So to get 1 out of 2, what we need to do is we just need to subtract 2 with 1, right? Subtract 1 from 2, which means 2 minus 1 is 1. In second loop, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 minus 1 is 3. So we get 1, 3. In third loop, 3 times 2 is 6, 6 minus 1 is 5. So we get all of the numbers that are odd from 1 to 100 by without running the loop 100 times, but running the loop 50 times. Let's see. I think we already checked this. Yes. So these were the odd numbers that we printed out using various approach. And let me just try out one thing for you so that the things are clear to you. I would like to do any one of these, first, second, for even, or print out all the numbers, or print out odd numbers using any approach. But what I want to do is I want to use while loop. I'll just do one of those. I think it would be better just to print out all of the numbers, and you can try it out for even and odd. So let me just copy this, and using while loop I just need to uncomment this. Right, okay, let us just discuss while loop before we do this. Just like for, we have another loop while, and inside while we only write down the condition, which is this part. So while I is less than 100. Okay, so this is all while consists of. And what about this in the initialization? Because we don't have the value of I, so what are we comparing? Which value are we comparing with 100? There is no value for I, so initialization part is done before the loop, just like this is, though it is inside for loop, it is actually running before the loop starts. Similarly, this is the loop, our beginning of the loop, so we can initialize the value just above the loop over here. So $I equals, we want to start from 1. So initially value of I is 1. To get inside while loop, it checks if I is less than 100. I can't write, just write less than. We just also need to add less than or equals to. So initially I is 1, and it checks if the value of I is less than or equals to 100, and if it is true, which is true, it gets inside the loop, and what we need to do is echo $I. I also like to echo BR just to break the line, make things clean. And the increment part $I plus plus is done at the end of the loop, not outside but at the end. So what this is doing is, initially the value of I is 1. It checks if 1 is less than or equals to 100. It's true, so it prints out 1. It gives a line break, and the value of I is now changed to 2. Now it checks if 2 is less than 100. Yes, it is, so it prints out I, and again increase the value of I by 1, which makes it 3. And 3 is less than 100, yes, so it prints out 3, and so on. So this is how while loop works, and you can use the same approach to print out, same loop, while loop, to work out with all these even number and odd numbers. I hope you understood what we just discussed. I'll be preparing more videos, and next videos would be more interesting, so stay tuned. And if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share the video. Thank you.